Hi, this is CherylAMajor with ThinStrongHealthy.com and theHealthyEatingClub.com. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about what we consider the bad cholesterol, LDL, and it gets a bad rap, and I want to share with you why. LDL is not all bad. In fact, 80% of your LDL is designed to be large, fluffy, and buoyant. The other part of it is hard, small, and dense. The large is buoyant, it floats, so it doesn't get down under the cells of your arteries and doesn't contribute to atherosclerosis. I can never say that the first time. I don't know why. I say it all the time, but not correctly for a few tries. So the LDL that's large and buoyant, that is not going to compromise the walls of your arteries. It's not going to contribute to atherosclerosis and coronary artery disease. It's when it becomes hard and dense and small that it gets under that wall and causes you problems. So how does it get switched from one to the other? Now, dietary fat does raise your LDL levels, but it's the large buoyant kind of LDL that it raises. It's actually carbohydrates that raise your level of the bad LDL, the smart, dense LDL. So in recent years, there was the Ansel Keys, the whole, fat-free thing decades ago where we were, dietary fat was demonized and it was, low fat. Everybody was on low fat, no fat stuff. But what that did was when you take out fat, you take out a lot of flavor. So what the processed food companies did was to replace the flavor, they added extra salt and they added extra sugar. Sugar is carbohydrate. So that contributes to the bad LDL. So you can largely improve your LDL readings by changing your diet. And everything that we talk about goes back to diet. What are you eating? So if you get rid of processed food, you get rid of simple carbohydrates, you get rid of sugar, your LDL levels will change. The ratio of bad LDL to good LDL will change. And it really bothers me that people think because their LDL is high that it's a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but what you need to do is when you go for your next cholesterol test, you need to ask your doctor to give you the test that breaks down the good and the bad, so you know if you're in good shape with your LDL or if you need to make some serious dietary changes to save yourself. And I'll give you an example of advocating for yourself, because it's not a test that's done automatically. It's a test that they may resist you on. I'll give you, for instance, about how you have to sometimes fight. I went in a few years ago it was my last visit before my beloved doctor retired. And she was one of the most functional doctors in an allopathic environment that you could find, and I greatly appreciated her. I wanted to have a test, it's called a CRP test for C-reactive protein, and that's a measure of the inflammation level in your body. And I wanted to have that to use as a benchmark, to use as a baseline going forward. So, I had that, and then in 5 years I could have it again and see, am I doing a good job? Am I keeping my inflammation tamped down? Is it going up? Is it going down? So I asked my doctor, I told her actually, I said, I really want to have a CRP test. And she said, no, you don't need a CRP test. She said, your inflammation level is going to be fine. I said, well, that may be so, but I want the test because I want to have it as a baseline. Well, long story short, 5 minutes back and forth, and I wasn't going to give up. So finally she said, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. You can have the test. Okay, I had the test. She was right. My inflammation was in good shape. I didn't have a high level of inflammation in my body, but I got the baseline that I wanted. So my goal with sharing this with you is sometimes you have to buck the system. You have to push back and you have to get what you need, get what you want. So don't be afraid to go toe-to-toe the next time you go in for your cholesterol test and tell your doctor you want to have the kind of cholesterol test that will give you a breakdown of your LDL, the good, which is actually called type A, that's the large, fluffy, buoyant stuff, or the bad, type B, which is the hard, dense kind of LDL cholesterol. So LDL is not necessarily bad. It depends upon what kind of LDL cholesterol you have in your body. And I want to share with you a book that I love very much. You can see this is how I read. It's like, it's dog-eared, it's highlighted, it's underlined. I have notes everywhere. It's Fat Chance, and it's written by Dr. Robert Lustig, who is a pediatric endocrinologist out in California, and he takes care of obese infants, children, and teenagers. And it is, he is very much a proponent of getting sugar processed foods out of your diet, because he is seeing so many overweight and obese infants and kids and teenagers. And he talks about in great detail about how early kids are having problems and issues with becoming type 2 diabetics. And it's something that you can make a difference in if you have the information and the willpower to change your diet. And that's one of the things that we talk a lot about on thinstronghealthy.com and the healthyeatingclub.com, the membership site that I have is there for people to have a community where they can, get recipes, get ideas, get inspiration, have phone calls, and just be a community moving together as a herd, as a community in the right direction. So I hope this information on cholesterol and your LDL cholesterol has been helpful. LDL is not necessarily bad, depends what kind your LDL is. So thanks for spending this time with me. This is CherylAMajor with thinstronghealthy.com and the healthyeatingclub.com. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.